Hi Clare, it's Christmas Day and I um, have just been thinking of a way to communicate my background and the sort of the basics on the meta level rather than on the object level. We cannot race into a legal defence without understanding what is behind the reality behind the charges, and also without understanding my own circumstances, because those are not only relevant to how you and I operate together in a legal relationship, but they're also very relevant to the law. And again, that's the law on the meta level, because the Ministry of Justice is beholden to acting within laws, and I can see, looking through the Ministry of Justice website, that there is like a charter, and that it does claim to obey human rights and all sorts of other things. We have the Criminal Procedure Act, we have the Policing Act, we have we have the Bill of Rights Act, we have all those sorts of things. So I think, a lot of my problems are highly relevant to those, and I don't have particularly high hopes that Ministry of Justice is going to obey any laws. But I need to get on. If I'm going to be represented by a lawyer, then you and I, if that's going to be you, I mean, you've taken me on, but we haven't worked together yet, then we need to get on the same page about that. And I'm going to try to keep this really brief because it's just an introduction. But I think what I'm going to do to communicate with you just in the initial part is just by these videos. And that's partly because I'm very badly damaged and writing is quite hard for me, and it ends up just being more homework on a spiralling level up and up. And so what I had been going to do was to, as I said I was going to get my GP to write a letter that was specifically to you and specifically to the work that you and I have to do together, because you recommended I see my GP about my distress, but I've been seeing her ever since I was released from Hill Norton Psychiatric Hospital and the Mental Health Act, you see. So these are things that you need to know about me. Not only, as I say, how you and I deal with each other, but also to understand that I don't need prompting to do the things that I can do myself. The reason I need a lawyer is to do things that lawyers can do and I can't. Now I can manage to find my way to see my GP, and my GP is, and it's nothing personal to you, it is, and I have been very grouchy about it in my diary videos, and one of my diary videos is the second thing that I'm going to send to you as the material introduction, just so you can kind of get a feeling of my situation from that. And it is an hour long, and it is a very well spent hour. But I've expressed my frustration with you. I haven't named you, but that's only because you are my current legal aid lawyer, and you're my fifth, and so a lot of that frustration has to do with, one, that you're my fifth legal aid lawyer. We don't know each other from a bar of soap. You went on annual leave because of the time of the year almost immediately on my assignment to you, or you to me, and then after that we have less than a month to prepare for my trial, and you've got a million other clients, and so it's just not possible, and we cannot leap into a defence when I get the strong impression that you think that I get the feeling that you think I did do the things that the police said I did, and you're defending me on that basis, and that's not gonna work. So So I do want you to watch this video, and I think it's just like something to start with, and that's just a task in itself. It's just a task in itself, and I just think you watch that, and then we just let it pause and sink in for a little bit. And I think that is a very, very good use of the limited time we have, because a lot of the processing that we do cognitively happens when our brains are at rest, or at least at rest from that particular topic. It's going to be very well spent, because I cannot have any more back and forths with people who don't understand, because that's, like I've tried to kill myself 5 times, and it's not a mental health problem, and I need you to know that. And yeah, so I was, the idea, like I have booked 2 sessions with my GP, to first to get a comprehensive letter to you written, because the general letters that I've sent to court and police over and over and over again, and to you, they're just not being recognised. I think people have blind spots to them, or, I think in your case it's just like, I don't think you have room for me, but you've done a good deed by taking me on, but that could backfire on me, you see. And the other thing is that it's not in police interests to acknowledge that they're victimising a person with quite a lot of major disabilities. And court just doesn't, fuck knows, I don't know what court's on about. I don't know what court is about. But I have not seen court obey laws so far. And these are human rights and disability stuff, and just fucking natural justice. I mean, I was charged on the 4th of July. I made an application was made by Karen Palmer on 10. No, it wasn't. No. Sorry, it wasn't by Kieran. Forget his name. On the 10th of July, and then, I've had 4 legal aid lawyers, and have all fallen through. And so, from being assigned a lawyer somewhere in July and it now being Christmas Day, this is discrimination by court if they let this trial go ahead. So I can't put in the homework of, because what I've got to do, my GP actually she's so overrun. GPs are overrun all over the show. Long gone are the days that a GP can sit down and write a letter. For somebody. They do not have the time. So what I've got to do is I've got to put the letter together for her. Now, I'm not the ghostwriter, and I'm not just writing what I want to write and then she signs it. What it is that I'm compiling a letter based on letters that she's written previously and my medical notes that she's written, and I'm going to stitch that all together, and then I'm going to give it to her, and then she can sort of, like put it in her own words or whatever, do a bit of sub-editing, and then, when she's happy with the content, she would sign it, and then I'd give it to you. But the thing is, like, again, it's just the spiraling level of work, and I can't even get into the substantive matter of the crimes committed against me, and the crimes that I've been falsely accused of. So I can't actually do that. I can't actually take on more homework. Now, what I can do for my GP is just put together a bit of a, stitch together a bit of a Frankenstein's monster of, her own medical notes, and I can supplement it with a few other records from other places that she can kind of refer to. And my thought is that either I can make a bit of time, I can give you some choices of appointments with her that you can have a chat to her about what's going on, because I have a feeling that you do better with listening than reading, and that could, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but if I'm right, it could be your personality style, or it could be also just that you are so busy that you can't sit down and read, and maybe you can just chuck something on in the car or whatever, and have a listen, you know. And then I realised, look, you're probably unlikely to be able to commit to any time, even if you chose one. And GPs, like, they can't wait. You know, I can wait, but a GP can't wait. And so I guess I just sort of want a bit of feedback about you about how that could happen. Like maybe my GP Elodie could do a vocal recording, or I could, I mean, I'm not sure, but you've really, really got to understand my situation. My disabilities, my mental and physical situation, and why everything that's happening to me is against the law, including from Ministry of Justice and Police. And I think I would go down that path only once you've looked at the video that I'm going to include with this one. Now, I was trying to keep this video to under 10 minutes, but it's 11 and a half now, so I'm going to wrap up soon. But the video that I'm going to include is an hour, and I recorded it last night. And it's much the same as other videos I've recorded, but I think it's comprehensive and it's up to date. Now, in a month, because you're coming back in a month, I mean, things can change. But for now, that's a really good snapshot of what's happening. And I don't know if you do any work over the holiday period according to your own choice, because I know a lot of professionals do that because it just doesn't really behoove them to take a break, because the break is a bit of a piece of fiction in a way. You come back to a hell of a lot of work afterwards. But I'm going to put these two videos that I want you to, this little introduction, and then the sort of more comprehensive, I don't know, it's a bit of a, yeah, it just tells you a lot about what you need to know about me and my circumstances. And I would really want some sort of response. Well, I'd want a decent response from you about that when you are able, because it's going to tell me whether or not you and I can work together. Because I'm going to go, I live in survival mode, and so, and I've been abandoned basically by 4 lawyers before. Truth be told, I kicked Michael Starling to the curb because he's a fucking asshole and he doesn't seem to understand the law at all either. I know what kind of lawyer he is because I've been I've been attacked by one of those. They have no legal arguments. They just have slurs. They're just bullies. So there's no legal skills there, and they shouldn't be able to. They should have their practicing license removed. But there's no way I was going to deal with him. But I had no choice. I mean, that guy was not going to help me, and the other 4 had, for one reason or another, not been able to take me on. And it's a real bummer about PDS because they were conflicted. So it wasn't that I couldn't work with them. It's just that supposedly they just couldn't. You know, they had that one hand tied behind their back, which is not what I want. But I also wonder, well, maybe that's still beneficial for me. I don't know. So I'm quite lost, and so the options that I have available to me, and I'm really very perfectly serious about this. These are the options for me, and these are the things that I consider. These are the options for me with the 12 July trial. Adjournment. That's the best option, and it's beyond reasonable. In fact, I think it would be highly illegal for it to go ahead on the 12th. I think it needs to be adjourned for 3 months. I think I need to match the amount of time that the prosecuting party has had. And that's not anything like the time they've had, but 3 months I think is reasonable, considering all your other clients, that you're not just devoted to me. And especially when you understand my background, where I've moved 14 times in 19 weeks, okay. And one of those moves has been sleeping on a fucking, bus shelter, okay. And I've tried to commit suicide 5 times. It's not mental health, being discharged from a psychiatric hospital. And that's my second option, is that if all else fails, and I think that I'm going to be absolutely criminally butchered in the trial, then I'm going to try to end my life. And I'm going to have to be quite serious about that this time. Third option is I just do my own thing and defend myself. I don't know how that works with legal aid, but I would just put together my own defence, and somehow you could work with that by presenting it or something like that. And I think there was a fourth one that I hadn't quite thought of. I think what it is that you just get up to speed very, very, very quickly with what's going on, because the charges are simple, but the reality is not. And my evidence, the police have no evidence. I have a lot of evidence. And I've disclosed most of that to police, and police know that I didn't do it. They know. And that is something that you need to know, because there's no point approaching this as if they're a sincere party who is trying to protect and serve the public. They are out to get me. And in time you'll learn why. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I am gonna send this to your email address. But obviously you just read it when you want to. Listen to it. Okay, thanks, bye.